Hi guys, good evening. I am Shan Grael in Canales, and right now I'm gonna talk about the things that I've learned since chapter 1 to chapter 6 about the science, technology, and society. So let's begin. So now let's talk about the chapter 1, which is the historical antecedents and the course of science and technology. So here the chapter 1 examines how scientific and technological advancements developed from ancient times to the present and influenced societies. So here from ancient civilizations such as the Sumerians, Egyptians, the Greeks, Romans, and Chinese, right? From there, from ancient times to modern times. It covers key developments in ancient Mesopotamia like writing and irrigations. In Egypt, the pyramids and engineering. While in Greece, it's mechanical devices. Rome is the engineering and roads, while in China is the gunpowder and printing. So, as well as innovations in the medieval period and modern era, which is right now the telephone and computer. So the chapter often concludes by discussing the impact of these developments in the Philippines, including inventions like the e-jeepney and the medical incubator. So now let's talk about the chapter 2, which is the intellectual revolutions. So see here, it typically covers the Copernican, Darwinians, and Freudian revolutions, which transformed human understanding of the universe, life, and the mind. So the Copernican revolutions replaced the geocentric model with the heliocentric model of the solar system, while the Darwinian revolution introduced the theory of evolution by natural selections, and the Freudian revolution developed psychoanalysis and the concept of the unconscious mind, which including the ego and the superego. So now let's talk about the chapter 3, which is the science, technology, and nation building. So here it explores how scientific and technological development have shaped a nation, particularly the Philippines, through through different historical periods. It covers pre-colonial indigenous practices, colonial introductions of modern infrastructure and education, and post-independence efforts to develop national science and technology agendas, often focused on economic growth. The chapter also notes the societal impacts of these advancements, including their contributions to infrastructure, health, education, and the economy. Now let's talk about the chapter 4, which is the human flourishing as reflected in science, technology, and society. Okay, so here this chapter focuses on the multifaceted relationship between human flourishing and advancements in science and technology. So the central idea is that to examine whether scientific and technological progress genuinely contributes to, or in some cases hinders human flourishing. Here, okay, and it moves beyond the common view of technology as a simple tool. Consider its deeper impacts on what it means to live a good life. Okay, now let's talk about the chapter 5, which is my report, which is the human flourishing as reflected in progress and development. So here, it critiques the traditional model of the development based on economic growth and consumption. So it proposes that true human flourishing requires a shift towards sustainability and well-being, potentially through the model like the development, which is, or for rich countries to reduce consumption as a sustainable alternative to pushing for endless growth for all nations. So this approach suggests that countries can achieve high quality of life with lower consumption by focusing on factors like education, health, and social harmony. Now last is the chapter 6, which is what? The good life. Here is a primarily concerned with the ancient Greek philosophical concepts, which is the eudaimonia. So this most famously articulated by Aristotle in his Nicomachean Ethics here. So the chapter explains that the good life is not simply a life of pleasure, but one of happiness and human flourishing achieved through virtuous action. That's the chapter 6. So from chapter 1 to chapter 6, they are very wide, but you can learn through it because it's their main objectives, their main purpose is to help you know the evolutions, the process, and how will it impacts our life. So that's all for today. Goodbye and God bless.